Hey guys, welcome to week one. Hopefully you've already been through the orientation and you've looked at some of the videos and now you're ready to kind of get started on the actual class material. So this quick screencast is just a really short overview of kind of what you're looking at in this week's assignments. And then in the next video, you'll see a little bit about the actual material. I cover two concepts from chapter one that I think are particularly important. So we're going to talk about those. And just really brief rundown on some of these things and the expectations and kind of what I'm looking for. Excuse me. So at the top of the page, you'll see here, you're looking at this week one checklist. And this checklist really does kind of walk you through everything that you need to do in a given week. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Then you're going to see this video here. I'm in the process of recording that right now. And then your field book. And if you are curious or you don't understand what the field book is, there is an explanation video in the orientation under course elements that you really need to look at. It's essentially like a journal, all right? And you have your choice of one of two field book options. You always have the choice. You can go from one or the other, doesn't matter to me. And the first one is to kind of pay attention to what goes well, what doesn't go well. And then the second option is to kind of look at noise. And remember, we're talking about noise that's in your book. It's stuff that's either going on in your head, which is internal, or external noise. And, the biggest one that I think most people talk about are these lovely little boxes right here. When it talks about noise, people are like, this is kind of subjecting yourself to noise. So that's one option. You don't have to talk about that, but that's one. Down here, you'll also see key terms. That's the material that you definitely need to make sure you've got from the book. An overview PowerPoint, and this is just a static thing that you can use to kind of guide your reading. And then the big assignment in this section that isn't part of the orientation is the Paula and Mike case study. In this case study, it's asking you to answer some questions based on the chapter. It is okay if you extrapolate or make some guesses. You're welcome to say, well, maybe Paula and Mike blah, or maybe this is something that Mike has talked about before. So you're allowed to kind of make some guesses as to what's going on outside of this conversation, because this conversation is purposefully vague so that you can add your spin on things. Here's my big pro tip for Paula and Mike. When it says to solve the problem, don't solve the lettuce. Everybody goes, well, if Paula would have been nicer, if Mike would have been nicer. At the point where they're yelling at each other over produce, it's already far enough down the road that we should be thinking of something else. So make sure that you pay attention to that. How would you fix the problem? And think about where that problem really got started and where it probably needs to end. Also, don't take the lazy way out and say, oh, well, Mike's just agreed to go out. Because one of the things that we learn in chapter one is that a lot of our communication is about more than what we're actually messaging about. The messages are like, hi, how are you? But the meaning might be, I really want to talk about something and I'm sad. So realize that if Mike were to just say, hey, let's just go out, or Mike would say, yeah, fine, let's go out, then maybe he's the one throwing a fit in the restaurant because the restaurant's crowded. So just realize that, don't take the easy way out and say, oh, well, Mike or Paula should just capitulate. That doesn't always work. And then also the other one I see a lot of problems with is this cultural context one. Okay. Realize that we all have culture and that think beyond the male-female role thing. Because a lot of people will put that. Think beyond that, get creative and see what else you can come up with. There's also characteristics of communication. This is in chapter one, so make sure that you're using chapter one there. As far as submitting this assignment, just really quickly, this is the one assignment where a lot of people accidentally put it in the wrong place. If you come down here, it's really tempting to paste it in the box. Please don't paste it in the box, or not this box. Click Write Submission and then paste it in that box, all right? Don't forget to use terms as well, all right? So hopefully that helps you kind of give a quick overview as to what to expect in this first section here. If you've got any questions, hit me up with an email. Otherwise, I will see you online. Have a great and awesome day.